the intersection of sports, blockchain, and AI. And yeah, so this is one of our events that we're hosting. Hopefully, continue being a series.
And how did you get the celebrity golfers, the Raiders, and such?
Like you said, grinding.
Good job.
Just just networking. We're part of the UNLV Zero Lab Startup Program. So we went through their cohort 3 back in October. Spent the whole weekend just kind of refining. And that has brought a lot of credibility to the project. And as we go out to the local Vegas, tech community, startup community, and even traditional brands like the Raider Nation Golf Club, and UNLV's out there as well. Their alumni association, they're all out there too, trying out the app because we hopefully get them onboarded for 2026. And it's just a lot of calling, networking, events like these. We all just kind of make it happen. Referrals, things like that. Just again grinding, making sure that you're in the right time with the right people. And
awesome, man. So you're conforming to his intro of you.
Yeah. That's kind of how we all brought it together, and with the help of some volunteers out here and you guys as well. We're gonna make this event hopefully great.
Awesome. Yeah. Thanks, man.
Thanks, man.
So we're gonna start the panel now. So we're gonna go down the line. Introduce yourself, and then the first question you can answer right away is how your experience at Bitcoin Conference 2025 has been so far. And then the next question will be about AI and Bitcoin. So you start formulating your fake response about how AI changed your life now. So
how AI or Bitcoin 2025?
Well, first one's Bitcoin. Then later on, you can give us your fake answer about AI.
Okay. So I am JC Coffey. I am the CEO and founder of KGU International. We are an artificial general intelligence consulting firm who we take and create synthetic humans, digital twins, and we create synthetic companies, fully ran companies. And how did Bitcoin change my life?
Just how the conference has been for you.
Oh, the conference.
Yeah.
The conference was I actually really liked the conference, and I made some phenomenal connections at the conference. So I really loved the whole infrastructure.
Cool. And then, we want to tell the story about our experience at the Rogue Bunnies.
Oh, that was very good. So when we went to, my experience there was the quality of people.
Yeah. So we went to the Elvis Presley's private suite, and they had the ex-Playboy bunnies doing an NFT project launch, and
yes, and the quality of the people there were very good. The facility was amazing. I was like, wow, feeling all kinds of special to be walking around in Elvis's suite. So, and the food was great.
I tried to get her to do the little Elvis change. And so Alberto, Powerful Apes hype man.
Hey everyone, I'm Nikip. Myself, I've been in space since 2016. Going to quite early. What I do is I invest in projects, crypto companies, as well as Web2 companies at times. But I also have a project that I've done before, which I exited as well. And right now I'm the CSO for Protocol, which is Bitcoin finance company.
Protocol.
Protocol,
Cool,
yeah.
Protocol.
Yeah, it's Protocol.
Got the B for Bitcoin.
Yeah. So Protocol is a Bitcoin DeFi company, which our goal is to bring DeFi into Bitcoin instead of having Bitcoin being sucked out into DeFi out in different chains. And my goal is I always love Bitcoin, and I always want to make sure that Bitcoin has enough activity in the space so that the miner stays and get rewarded happily, right? And that's what my goal is, to try to bring other kind of assets into Bitcoin while it sticks to the Bitcoin network. Other than that, for the Bitcoin conferences itself, it's been amazing. Met a lot of good people, but most of them are old friends that I met again. The side events was amazing as well. There's a lot of multiple good side events. Of course, there's ordinals events that's happening, that's growing in the Bitcoin ecosystem. Of course, there's the L2s that you can learn more about what's happening in the Bitcoin ecosystem. And I would say this is, to me, one of the best Bitcoin events, other than all the events that I've been in Miami so far for the past few years, because of all the kind of content that you get, all the insights that you get, all the new people that come in, all the big institutions, all the big I should say government bodies that happen in the event. Is crazy. So yeah.
That's great. Yeah, as you mentioned, the Miami, it was interesting. Like Chris Marshall from Crypto Money's Miami is here in the next panel. He mentioned this feels like one of those 80s sitcoms where the whole crew goes to Italy for an episode.
Yeah.
It's like your hometown is
Yeah.
in Vegas for the conference.
Yeah.
My name is Griffin. I go by other things on the internet, but I've been in the
All right,
Oracle
what are the
space.
things you can't?
That was so my fault.
I already doxed myself. Don't dox myself.
Video?
I recognize
So,
that.
so your great grandkids are gonna be.
Yeah,
are gonna be
I
out
really
there,
don't want my
their
great-great-grandkids
grandkids
to see what my internet stuff is.
We should describe this.
Yeah.
So you can watch it forever.
I don't know, man.
Yeah,
maybe,
we've been,
maybe the aliens or the AI is gonna like do you a favor.
I mean, hopefully the aliens do it, as long as they're not killing everyone and having a good time. I'm working on Orange Cube in the ordinal space. It's like basically an art curation platform, more of an art gallery, really. We're trying to go for sort of the finer end of things, bringing on people who are doing really unique things and then having them inscribe work. But yeah, I've also been inscribing my work since the start of ordinals, pretty much. I also do like strategy and that sort of consulting things, like why are you using ordinals, like, or even not even ordinals, like Bitcoin stamps or any of these other protocols, like what's the advantage of it compared to like a different thing? Is it worth doing for you? As for the conference, I'm exhausted, being fully honest. It's great, but
It's very exhausting, yeah.
yeah, it's been good. I mean, the mining booths and the art at the main conference is what really stood out to me. Yeah, the mining booths are crazy. It's really, really cool stuff. I'm thinking about heating some land with the mining. See if that works.
It's supposed to be 107 degrees today.
Not in Vegas.
Okay.
Not in Vegas.
Okay. That's fine. Yeah, I guess that makes sense at that point because 107 to 108, that's probably the tipping point. Don't take the jacket off a little.
Yeah.
So my name is Hunter Hunt, CEO of T-Box Caddy, and what we've done is created an app that makes everything seamless for the golfer, tournament hosts, and golf course. And why are we out here for the Bitcoin Network? Well, we are actually the first tournament management software that accepts crypto. So we've started off with stable coins, then we will add Bitcoin, and we'll be 30 chains deep by the end of next year. And so that's the cool thing that I like about the Bitcoin conference is I've been attending for the last couple of years and watching projects grow from ideas to actual tangible things, and then from there watching them grow into actual companies that become companies within. So like ordinals, it's crazy. About 2 years ago, no one knew what an ordinal was, and then last year everyone was like, what is an ordinal?
Yeah.
And then trying to figure out and learning about ordinals, and then you come back this year, and it's like now it's like most people know what ordinals are, and they're actually trying to utilize ordinals. So that's the cool thing that I love about the Satoshi over any of these Bitcoin conferences is watching the progression these companies go and people. So
That's great. So I think maybe we can start back with you, Hunter, since you are a startup app developer and obviously very involved in the Bitcoin ecosystem. What is your take on the typical Gartner hype cycle? Like for where are we now in the hype cycle for AI and Bitcoin competition?
So that's an interesting question. So in my take, everyone's kind of focused on infrastructure right now. That's where we've all been going towards. So with that being said, I have the understanding that we built a lot of infrastructure and that we're pretty good at where we're at with the infrastructure. Now it's going into ecosystem plays. And that's kind of like what T-Box Caddy is that allowing real world use cases for people that have been gathering their crypto so that they can start utilizing and using their crypto in real world use cases like golf and or buying golf gear from us. So we've partnered up with tons of different brands that are on the verge of getting into crypto, but just not there yet. So we're kind of that stepping stone for them. So they can put their gear on our place and then and then these guys can actually purchase their gear from our market with their crypto.
So you know,
just
like
opening up the market.
So you have a lot of golfers, I think 60 golfers right now, I guess on their way back. But for example, you have the Raiders Hall of Famer. So if you wanted to use Bitcoin AI or some NFT project, what would you be saying to him? You say right now, I guess he's coming back, but
Well, I mean, he's around the right people to figure it out and learn. Yeah.
So anyone else? Where are we in the combination of Bitcoin or crypto AI hype cycle?
I mean, for myself, when it comes to Bitcoin and crypto in general with AI, there's still, just to be honest, there's not any much application being used in AI yet. Like if you look at all the things that happen in the AI sector for crypto or the blockchain itself, sorry to say it's trash. Because look,
It's like fighting words, man.
look, what
I wouldn't say trash.
I wouldn't
I was
say
fixing to say, hold on, wait a minute.
I mean,
I
like-
would not say the ability to take your likeness.
Dude, like
And
we got
replicate
plenty
it.
about fighting
I mean,
space
I'm
here.
trying
We
to-
should do a dance battle to
I'm
settle
trying to
this.
be a devil's advocate here.
Yeah.
Right? I mean,
Okay, I
I
can
don't
see
want to
that
be, I don't want to be a
Yeah,
panel
yeah.
because I invest in AI blockchain companies as well. It's just
Yeah.
that if you look at all the AI that's happening in the blockchain ecosystem, what are they? It's just chatbots on Twitter, rapping, having fun, or you can just type launch a token on Twitter and then it launch for you on Pump.fun or something. Pretty much that's it. There's no real value on AI to blockchain yet. If you can tell me one value, then prove me wrong. Right? I mean, trading is one, but
I was fixing to say that. I'm
Yeah,
like, hey,
but-
I can show you plenty of
Yeah, but-
of chatbots who are out there that are now doing crypto arbitrage.
yes, but
So
if you look at it, right, it's still the fundamental is more on the centralized stuff. So you have to deposit your crypto, you have to do this, you have to do
but
that.
let's talk about why is that?
Yeah.
Because we're the ones who have the knowledge to be able to take and apply it. Like you can't just go out to the public right now and say, hey, and come and invest in this or start on this without an informational platform to educate them on how to even get into the app. How do they even start? Like I go in and talk to the elderly a lot, right? About artificial general intelligence because they're being programmed by the TVs to think that we're coming to steal their soul when it's totally the opposite. We're coming to empower you as an individual, as a human, to take and teach humans how to be human, right? And let machines do what machines do. So as a human, we've been programmed for all these years through necessity to be consumers and employees for the wealthy. But now this is a game changer. AI, blockchain, crypto, we can come in now and empower you as an individual to set up your own synthetic company, completely ran and operated with no human involvement, just human oversight.
Yeah, but that's on AI side itself. So the topic is on AI with blockchain, right?
Yeah.
On that side, for me personally, I've not really seen any good innovation that comes close to the ethos of blockchain, which is decentralization, ownership, and everything. All the AI that's happening within the whole crypto space is all fully centralized. You have to deposit, you have to custody everything. And yes, to me, I've used it as well because to me, the good thing is I deposit my assets in a specific centralized Oracle index architecture, whatever infra, and I can just type, okay, help me buy this token, whatever, sell me at slippage, whatever. It's fine. But it's more on the trading side. Again, it's finance.
Yeah.
What can AI be used in blockchain to on a decentralized manner for ownership, for everything? I've not seen anyone that does it.
So let's not ask.
There's a few like indexing platforms that sort of look at like you know how like ordinals like look at the Bitcoin all the data and then find things. There will some that will do that for other chains and try to find like alpha or a certain thing they're looking for. Usually, like if you're looking on ETH, you can find like information about different. So, for example, you can have an agent that sort of operates independently through smart contracts. It goes out into the world and then it sort of talks to other things.
Yeah.
The issue with a lot of AI stuff, from my understanding, is the infrastructure is always centralized because you just need so much to actually get a good LLM running.
Yeah.
I think there is opportunity for like decentralizing that via sort of like
We need it.
Yeah,
I
we
mean,
need
so
it.
if you have anyone listening,
Yes.
please, JC Coffee, KGU International.
We have somebody in the audience that has a
Like,
comment.
why don't you come
Yeah.
to the
Yes.
camera?
Go join.
come on, join.
Bring it.
This is Orlando, you guys.
Nice to meet you.
Alright, so
I mean, you can pull up a chair too. If you
That
want
would be
to.
perfect.
Oh, this is becoming a nice conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Let's
became the
add
devil
value.
advocate.
Yeah.
I
While
became
you're
the
doing
devil
that,
advocate to
yeah,
get
while
things,
you're
you
doing
know.
that, let me do a callback to
Yeah.
Alberta hosted an event a few days ago, Bitcoin for filmmakers, and interesting. You're talking about how an older generation is talking about stealing your soul, and I'm wondering maybe we could do a thought experiment. Maybe Orlando, say that's true, right? You know how actors, all the SAG agreements, writers saying you don't want to train the AI with your the soul of an actor or soul of a writer is, that's really their art, right? So how does blockchain actually prevent someone's art, someone's acting, someone's writing style, someone's art style from not being just copied without compensation? So from that point of view, how do prevent doing so with blockchain?
So, well, you might have threw a little lip in there with blockchain. I know that we can totally. I'm not a blockchain developer, so I don't want to speak on things that I'm uneducated about. I have worked with blockchain
Or maybe
developers.
just say create a level of ownership for someone's actual creativity.
So, okay, so on that part, I partnered with a company called Engager. They have the patent for any persona that is made with a video, a photo, a text message, or a hologram, okay? And why that is a game changer with KGU and with us offering that is because now we can, with that patent, digitize your likeness through an IP, right? And now we can help you monetize your digital persona, and now you have ownership. So our digital assets have been out there. They've been monetized this whole entire time, just not by us, right?
Yeah, so Crypto Chick actually has very topical. One of her friends, I think it's very personal to his friend. He's the co-founder of Apple, and also he's a book author. So let's do a thought experiment with Ron. So her friend, say you're an author and you just wrote a book, right? How does this technology prevent like your publisher from writing a second book, or even allowing you to write a second book, automatically? And also you can explain what happened to your friend, how his life work got stolen as well, and perhaps what the lessons are for us now.
That goes into like NFT technology.
Okay, yeah, you gotta speak like that.
So, there's so many people that have developed and innovated stuff and written stuff, and it can easily be stolen. And then especially as we've entered the digital era, it's easy for our music, our art, everything to be copied and stolen. And so with NFT technology, Ron Wayne, he was one of the beginning founders of Apple, and he was the one behind the scenes that, like the original slot machines, he created the tech that moved them to digital. And without that technology, Apple would not even be a thing. And so and the little payphone sounds, and just it's absolutely amazing. So he was working with Steve, and he did all the behind the scenes stuff, and he has to this day not gotten credit or recognized for any of that. He's 91 years old. He just finally published his book, and
the modern day Tesla.
Well, he's got a bunch. He's got a couple books. I mean, he's actually KGU International's client.
Yeah.
And he's got a bunch of books. But the biggest thing is he's just here to say, hey, we make decisions, right? And his thing is not to even get the credit of of being the one who put it together. His thing was just he wants to just explain so he doesn't look like an idiot, right? Because online, when you go and look him up, you look up Ronald G. Wayne, he's on the internet, and it says the creator of Apple who sold his shares for $800. But that's not what happened at all. He was an engineer, and Steve Jobs, in his own words, and Wozniak didn't even have 2 pennies to rub together at that point in time when they came to him to form this corporation, right? So again, Ron formed the corporation, but then they went out and borrowed against the corporation. And by the time he found out, right, he's older, he's got a family, he's got a house, he's got all this stuff. And imagine back then borrowing $15,000. That's a big difference, right? So they just sent him money in the mail. And he thought he was just doing this for a friend. And, he'll be up here in a little bit, and we could always interview anyone who wanted to speak with him in reference to that. But really, he was just doing a favor. So when they sent him the money, he thought, hey, this is great, $800. I mean, he thought he had already done what he was there to do, right? So it's for this, I explained this to him like, hey, because he worked with Atari. right? He was one of the head engineers for Atari. He did a bunch of stuff for Ataris, and then he made the first slot machines ever, right? Because he was here working with the casinos and all of that, and he has those assets. He has the physical asset. So explaining to a 91-year-old, and I'm not even that well versed in NFTs, but I've been explaining, and that's why I wanted to bring him to this community, so this community could really help him make a difference. You know, and showcase
and it can, and so like blockchain technology even changes the entire patent. So that's real world, real life stuff. You know, if you have it's proof of ownership. So like if he has his patent, you know, like all of his data on the blockchain, it can't be erased, it can't be taken away. That can actually be turned into an NFT. His entire book can be turned into an NFT. I actually worked with the Marvel Spider-Man writer that had worked for over 10 years on his novel that one day is going to be a movie, and helped him launch the very first novel as an NFT through blockchain.
So we have an audience question.
Oh yeah, I just want to play devil's advocate as well, actually. So
You want to do one on camera? You don't have to be.
yeah, come on in.
My name's Steven. So,
Stand in.
so I'm a VC in this space.
You gotta see, you're gonna be out of camera. Maybe you'll
Just show it table, bro.
Cool.
Yeah, just add in.
Okay. So VC in the space, do a bunch of stuff in AI. So I just want to play devil's advocate in terms of the ownership and stuff, because with that example, it's like we have lawyers, right?
Yes.
And so, and that could have been sorted out legally. And then the issue with pegging things to, the issue with pegging things to NFTs is a lot of these NFTs are still on centralized databases. So they're actually still centralized. The website goes down, the NFTs go down. And then even when you have the data pegged to an NFT, that data can still be trained on an LLM that then has your data. And so actually, I personally think the opposite is going to happen, in that blockchain is going to empower AIs to develop their own IPs. And we can already see that with like story protocol, right? And so I think the big argument, which is a very philosophical argument, is how humans and AI become more aligned, because actually AI are becoming more and more empowered with blockchain, NFTs, things like story, and that's the interesting argument.
Well, I have a.
This is Orlando. Orlando from Orlando.
Yeah.
You can't like let that little. There's a guy named Reno, but he's not from Reno. I feel like there's a party foul amongst the Reno.
So from Detroit, but I live in Orlando now. So Orlando lives in Orlando. But to top in, so I own a social media platform. And I'm just gonna be bluntly honest. I can't stand the way social media is ran right now. Right? We don't have a room in social media, period. Nobody in this room has a room in social media. You get what I'm saying? We all are studying AI, crypto. We don't have a space, period. The blockchain, we don't have a space here. When you said, how does it have value? So what I built inside of a friendly is I built B2B, B2C, C2C. Business to business, business to consumer, consumer to consumer. I built a place where businesses can push their business in the local community using geolocation. Same thing's already pushed now. And I built an entire community using Unity. Right? So you can be an avatar, gain money, Bitcoin, cryptocurrency, spending the cryptocurrency, shopping with real businesses. Same products you buy with those businesses, they now getting shipped to your house. Now it's holding value. You know what I'm saying? It's just, and you use real money the same way. You know what I'm saying? You can use gold. I'm making it to where we have a world that helps us. Okay. Right? It extends an arm to opening our world up to a whole nother level. Right? My homepage is solely dedicated to every local business. That mom and pop store that's struggling right now, they just can't afford it because the tariffs is just too high. Right? Not even a benefit. But they ain't got to pay thousands and thousands of dollars off of advertising. They're going to pay the minimum and they're going to be able to advertise.
Just to interrupt, like we heard a golf cart crash.
Yeah.
And the dash cam was pointed the wrong direction. So no insurance payout for the golf cart.
Yeah.
And they had to do that.
So how do you use, how do you use AI then? Like, I understand what you're trying to say. Like, there's a lot of people trying to do cool stuff on blockchain.
So with the avatars, even though I give you the ability to create your own avatar, and do your thing with your avatar, we also give the ability for AI avatars to be created, right? Because there's people who have social anxiety who can't talk to a person like you, but can talk to an AI person, right? We have the ability within there. So when it comes to the film industry, I built the first digital movie theater ever in the world.
Yeah, so let's talk about that. Just like that call back again to Alberto's event a few days ago on Bitcoin for Filmmakers. You know, a lot of us here actually are creatives or filmmakers. So my thing about, for example, the new Mission Impossible that's coming out with Tom Cruise, I feel he's authentic. He does his own stunts, right?
Right.
So that same metaphor, you know, people like practical effects, like the green screen. So how's that going to affect the creative industry? So even if you are an artist and you have the rights to your AI agent and things like that, it's still more authentic for you to do original work, or is it okay for you to train your own agent? Now, forget the monetary aspect. Like, how's it going to connect with your patrons, your audience, and such? Or even if there's any like NFT investors in there as well, would you rather have a one-of-one handmade by a artist, or you're okay with procedural generations, for example?
It's got to be a piece.
Throwing it out to anyone.
It's got to be a piece of both because you benefit from both. You don't have. You shouldn't have to choose one between it. Yeah, like one.
There's room for both.
It's room for both. It's enough room in this lane for everybody to eat.
And it's creativity at its finest. It's your persona, and you're creating it. You're telling it still what you want it to scrape, what you want it to know, what you want it to use, how you want it to perform. I can build out your knowledge bases contingent upon what you want and what you want it to have. We can tell it what not to do. Your persona can take, meet with your clients. It can send over proposals. It can take a Zoom call. So there's multiple things, and we're continuously progressing. And this is not if that then this. This is we have the best of both worlds. We're in a space of abundance, and we're just continuously creating, and we're getting to a space where humans get to be human. We're literally putting a platform together to teach humans how to be humans, because we've been programmed to be machines. We've been in a rat race for so long because we have to perform. We have to feed our families. We have to have a roof over our head, right? So when you look at it from that perspective, this is empowering. This is not us taking and losing our jobs. This is us taking technology, applying technology to do things that we've surpassed now. Now the machines can do it, and better than us. Why do we need to do that? We could be sitting here creating like we're doing, meeting with friends and family, traveling, doing all the fun things that humans do.
Yeah, like when our minds race and we have all these dreams and ideas and want to be creative and want to get it out there, and we just don't know how. Like, this is bridging that. This is making those things happen. And I was gonna say something about like, say you have like real world art, and all of a sudden you can use AI to like build out an entire gallery within the metaverse, and then you can have your real world art, in the metaverse so people can see it.
Oh, that's a good point.
And then they're ordering your art and being able to see it all over. And a lot of galleries are actually moving, towards that. So
I think a big thing with AI in terms of what you were saying about like why would a collector get it, I think that goes to what the collector's buying. I think if you're going to buy something from an artist, it's usually going to be for the story or for the type of piece. I think a lot of creators are sort of struggling and figuring out how to use it right now because, like, sure, you can make like an AI avatar, and some of them can be used really well, but if it's not used well, it can be sort of cheesy. There's this big YouTube channel that basically shifted 100% of his operations to just AI avatars, and he's lost like millions of subscribers since then. And I think there's a fine line. Briefly, you were mentioning the centralization of NFTs, and me and Nikki were talking about ordinals is a good solution for people because you can just you can have it stored on witness data on the Bitcoin network.
So just to give a bit of background what ordinals are about, if you guys don't know what ordinals are about, the NFTs, when you do NFTs, all the art that you do is not on chain. It's pointed to a centralized data center. And how many times have you seen your NFTs just lost its image?
Yeah.
So ordinals, just to give a recap, is where you actually embed this data into Satoshi. And then Satoshi is been put on chain. So your data is on chain forever. No one can destroy it. No one can change it. No one, even nuclear bomb can destroy it. I mean, unless all the Bitcoin die, but you can just spin up
One
again.
nuke. One nuke is okay.
Yeah, one nuke is okay. One nuke is okay. But end of the day, if one nuke is if the whole Bitcoin infra is dead, you can just restart the mining process and everything is back on chain. So you can. So nowadays there's already protocols that can help NFT to scale to another level where everything's on chain, where you don't need to be relying on a centralized server or data centers. Like,
Does it congest Bitcoin?
dude,
A
if
lot of people use it.
yeah, if it does congest Bitcoin, that means Bitcoin is on a healthy state. If like right now there's no block being mined in Bitcoin, that means Bitcoin is dying. If Bitcoin dies, the whole cryptocurrency is gonna collapse at one point of time, right? Because how do miners make money? By mining, and then they get rewards for mining per block. Right? The higher the congestion are, the more fees they are, the more happy the miners get, the more and more people going to come back and mine on Bitcoin. When Ethereum was proof of work back in the day, how many miners left Bitcoin to go to the proof of work for Ethereum, right? And that because they couldn't get enough rewards. Now look, all the miners are coming back.
And that's a big thing too, is like the mining rewards.
So let's switch out moderators here. We'll have Kat do the Q&A, and I'll be the peanut gallery, making funny faces. You know.
Is that a joke?
That's what I'm thinking.
I know.
People's questioning.
So, you guys, let's introduce our newest Crypto Mondays Vegas organizer, Kat, and we got three the girls versus boys apparently.
No, we got you.
So Kat's gonna finish up the panel, and we'll do some audience Q&A, and then one last thought. So Kat, why don't you just start with your intro first?
Okay, so I'm Catherine. I go by Catalyst. I've worked in a lot of different industries. I think I'm definitely disrupted probably every single one of them, whether it's space, tech, and in space we actually have ordinals on the moon, so that's one of the projects that we've done. Entertainment, music.
Oh, you gotta explain that. You can't just like...
Well, I want to come back to it, but then I'm really going to go down the rabbit hole with that. Yeah, we did a SpaceX Falcon 9 launch, and that was back in February 14th. We landed on the moon on February 22nd. I am the spirit of aloha, and it means a lot to my soul and what that mission is. And it's all about unity. It's about coming together. And I think that's why I love Web3 so much, because I feel it from all of you, and we're learning together, and super, super important. Even as a female, I'm gonna let y'all know, it was rough. I will not lie. I was like, okay, am I gonna be able to hold it down in this space for too much longer? I've dealt with a little bit of a hack and things like that. So I'm always looking to learn more, and safety is my big thing right now, And so I started writing a children's book, and Satoshi Saves the Block, and it's really about all of us coming together, sharing our individual stories. And I've dealt with maxis, and yeah, it was like, you miners, if you want to go in the majors, you might want to go talk to the ordinals. And I'm just saying. So I hope they're treating y'all better. I would really hope so.
I've been attacked many times by maxis in my life, so for many years.
Yeah, I was his bodyguard for a few years.
Yeah.
Fighting off.
I got blocked by Luke and all the rest of people in the space. So
I'm not blocked yet.
Now you are. Now you are. They just found out who was helping him.
Famous last words. Not blocked yet.
yeah.
In reality, you guys, the next layer of the internet is being built out.
Yeah.
And we're in the midst of the next layer. First we had like the little blue links, and then we had like Messenger, and as of right now,
Messenger.
when you guys
old school.
When you guys go and you download an application from Apple or the Play Store, you're giving them the right to store all of your data. So now they have your contacts and your photos and everything, and they're storing it on their centralized location. So if a hacker gets into that, all of the data is gone. And that's where, Bitcoin solved that problem. And then a lot of the other technology the decentralized applications that are being built out solves that. And Unstoppable Domains, they're way ahead of their time.
Oh, yeah.
Because they're building like an entire infrastructure, to where everybody can own their domain build on that, and it can't be taken away. They can't, you know, scrub your information and stuff. So it's just we're in the midst of like some phenomenal times and amazing development all the way around.
I agree.
And by the way, I'm Crypto Chick, you guys. I've worked with represented Crypto Magazine, and crypto has been my life for the last 6 years, 24/7 sometimes. And so I also studied natural health for over 20 years. So I'm always like looking for the new innovation and the gem. And it definitely is about the community and the developers and, you know, trying to bridge everybody together. So we also have the Web3 Global Network and, you know, working close with the Blockchain Center and the Crypto Corridor and just everybody to like kind of like bring all this technology to one spot. So Main Street has a safe place to go, because my whole goal is safety as well, security.
Who's going next?
She definitely is a person that brings ties together. I can say that. I wouldn't even be sitting in the phone.
I want you to tell him about your augmented reality thing. Why does that? This is so exciting because he does augmented reality too.
I do AR. So like I brought the cryptocurrency, the Bitcoin into augmented reality. You know, there's still tying the pieces together. When I say this social media platform is a whole different world within itself. I don't know if y'all remember when everybody was running around chasing Pokemon Go. Y'all remember that?
Yeah.
We still are.
I
got this.
Speak for yourself.
And let's go hunting today.
The key word is.
Why do you think we're on a golf course, man? I'm here to chase Pokemon.
So I made it to where you can pin drop anything from coupons to coins to invitation, whatever you want, you can pin drop it, and people can go hunt it in augmented reality. Like literally, you taking your phone.
Oh wow, this is role playing at a whole another level.
It's to a different place. Like it's one thing to say, it's a whole nother thing when I can put it in front of your face, right? So they said, yeah, I'm not supposed to do it, right? Let's have a little fun.
And you have a church on the platform as well. So
I do.
God first, always.
Without God, none of this would even exist, right? So I did open up a window because during the pandemic, I don't know if y'all noticed that, but the churches were hit completely the hardest, right? There was no way the elderly was going in, right? And if they did go in, they got sick and they passed away. And every channel they used to try to stream, the elderly person didn't understand how to sign up, or the camera video footage was crappy. It was just a lot of dead things that was bad about the whole situation. So what I did was I made it to where churches could then sign up to the Befriend platform. They're able to stream live through Befriend. You're able to interact directly with each member inside of the church. So say if the deacon need to give you special prayer to the side, he can do that without interrupting the service, and the service is still running live. They're able to collect their service, tithes or offerings directly to the church. Not only can they host church settings, they can also host Bible study, different things like that. I created a book room. I created so many things within this platform that is insane to be able to give all of us a way to be able to express ourselves. Take away from Apple holding the keys. When you create a video game, you can create and upload it to Befriend. I've already partnered with Google so I can put those ads in there. I've already started partnering with other ad agencies so we can put those in there so you can make money. All that money you make off those ads, that's your money. What you pay me is to be on a platform, right? Everything you make in a platform is your money, right? And so I wanted us to have a world that just gave us a world.
That whole saying, for the people, by the people, now is the time, because it hasn't been that way.
And when you're, go ahead.
Oh no, I was brushing a fly away.
Oh.
I thought you were doing the one finger clap.
Exactly, I was just singing. Are you going to show us?
Yeah, we'll show you. All right, so when you go into Befriend, you're going to go on the coupon hunt. When you click on the coupon hunt, there's a demo
You
coupon
got
here.
to point it towards the camera so the people can see that's not here.
Can y'all see?
Befriend me?
Yeah, it's Befriend. BEFRIEND, and then separate ME. Alright. So when you click on the coupon hunt, the coupon that you want to hunt, you start to hunt it. It actually gives you a map, geolocation, shows you where the coupon is, right? You click start, now you hunt the coupon, right? Now you click find the coupon. There's a coupon right there. I don't know if y'all can see it.
Yeah.
but it's right there.
Oh, that's pretty
Do me
cool.
a favor. You sit right next to me. Click the coupon. Right, no, click on my phone. See it? There you go. QR. The QR code also responds to your website, to whatever you have. It's gonna take them right out of your framing into whatever you have, so that way they can then participate in your business. Now you get those subscribers. Now you get those views. Now you get those clicks. Now you get those consumers, customers, whatever you need from this. It's gonna give you what you need to be able to benefit you and build you.
Yeah.
How to monetize
I'll add to
yourself.
that. Yeah, I'll add to that. So there's actually a big market in AI and spatial, particularly in UAE.
Sabbatical.
So I'll just explain it. So UAE, almost 25% of their GDP is from wholesale retail, shopping malls, buying and selling. Okay, so it's but they want to increase their GDP by trillions of dollars. Okay, and the way they do that is by capitalizing on their biggest value add right now, which is wholesale retail. And the way to optimize buying and selling is through AI, through spatial augmented reality. So like, it's how do these shopping brands hold fans' attention once they've left? So like, I want Apple experiences when I'm not at Apple, right? And the only reason this hasn't been like a huge takeoff now is because companies like Apple don't want to cannibalize their existing product line. But that's definitely where the money is right now. There's huge, particularly in UAE, there's huge investment into things just like this. So I would just
This is that market that opens it up for us. We don't. I've already been approved by Apple. I'm on Apple's platform, so now everybody can tie in and do what they need to do with this platform, right? Now it's almost like you using, you just taking Facebook and creating your way.
It's really just the thing that's missing is the educational component to walk everyone through it, right? Because they don't feel safe. And again, safety is a key word, right? When we can make someone feel safe, it's a game changer. Because when we're thriving instead of surviving, and all of that comes from feeling safe, we're different. When we're out here and we're on a solid foundation, we're performing. When we're out here surviving, trying to just make it, it's different. The chemicals that are released in our body are different.
I guess based on the topic again from the start about how blockchain and how crypto and AI works together, seems like based on what all this panel shared, to me personally what I learned is AI works more on the support side.
Yes.
Right? Because that's something I think we need to understand at this point of time. Like a lot of the reason why earlier my comment talked about that AI in blockchain is trash is because I've seen a lot of fluff. People talking about using AI to use as a reader transaction hash, to use AI as a consensus mechanism, all this, but it never worked. What I've seen work are what you guys are trying to build and use AI as a supportive measures. I use AI a lot in my project to build my company for crypto. I use for coding, for texting, for even nowadays I don't even need to pay people to do art for me. I just use AI to do
But see, you're double talking because you're showing that it works. It works on every level. Right? You just proved that it works.
Yes, on the support side.
Yes. But that's what we need is. But now, as we're moving forward and it's advancing, it's still support. So if I come in and take your company and make a synthetic company of your company, it's still just support, right? Because it's the infrastructure that's there as we create these synthetic companies, right? You're still providing human oversight.
And it's autonomous.
Exactly, because everything is ran without it, and you have agents that make and manage other agents, and so the AI for me is more like a physical representation of what is happening on the blockchain. So people can kind of touch it, feel it, understand it a little bit more, and we're just really the bridge over into this decentralized platform that people are afraid of because they don't really understand it. We can come and hold their hand and walk them through and show them how this is a way to monetize their self.
You should pull up.
Oh, pull up. Oh.
Right.
Okay. You do not have to tempt me with a good time.
As to what she's saying too, it's how do we feel going into this? I have a son, and when we look at what's going on right now in the world, and are our children safe? How do they feel? Are there predators behind these walls and these things? And they're so out in this attention culture that we're not spending enough time really how are we pushing it through?
Yeah.
You know, so I'm big into like a tender tech time where we really do spend more time educating and letting them safety. I mean, it's dangerous. I'm having a lot more talks with women, and I just, you know, having these discussions to say, are we putting, you know, profits really essentially over people, which kind of scared me for quite some time in this industry. I love the creator aspect of this. I think that we are all creators, but if we are in this reactionary state because we're just trying to survive, then it causes chaos, it causes wars. So, you know, getting off, having this human connection, having IRL, having these moments, I'm just forever really honestly grateful to be here with all of you and learning, because that's what it's about, is more and more we learn.
JC, you heard all that. Now go ahead and give us a recap on CAP.
Sounds like you're reflecting on the importance of human connection and creativity in our industry, which is wonderful. Creating meaningful interactions can really help us thrive rather than just survive. Would you like to discuss how...
Oh, shit, I hit the button, sorry. See, technology.
Yeah.
I hit the button to stop her.
Here to help.
I'm sorry, JC, I did not mean to cut you off. Go ahead. Just explain to us what we're doing here and how technology is being. Oh shit! I changed it off. See, sorry. This is tech for you.
We're getting there.
Yeah.
We're getting there.
I cut her off. I cut her off with the button. But
user error.
Yeah, user error. But just going in to show that, you know, she was listening to her, right? She comes alive. She can meet, and we could do this with anyone. And this is just scratching the surface. This was an MVP from a year and a half ago, right? So her voice is little, but I keep it because this is what I can guarantee minimal that you're gonna get, right? And now you talk about, as a mother who has raised 14 children and have 12 that are my biological, right? Like, I have been always trying to figure out a way to 10x myself. And when you look at it, perception is everything. So now we can take this technology, we can be anything that we want to do and have. And when it comes to wrapping it into our children, there's nothing better than being able to sit with your kids, or for me, grandkids, I have 6 of them, and say, hey, let's create your company. And when they're thinking, and at 4 and 5 years old, when they're creating, we start talking to it, and it starts creating their world as they think it to become. So it starts making these videos, making these systems, right? As I'm sitting here talking to my grandkids, that was like epiphany. It was like, you talk about self-development. Think about when you can take your children and you can build in front of them so they can see what it's doing. And then on the behavioral and mental health side of this, imagine taking these and being able to work with foster kids. And now you have this that's interacting, and it's their self. It's mirror work at its finest, and we have tech to thank for that.
This is where connections come in, right? This is where bonds are built, right? So you got amazing product of what she just built, right? And we already working together, just so y'all know. I just want y'all to know we the stuff that we about to do together inside of a frame, y'all about to lose your mind. But this is where technology and connections come together, right? So don't be afraid to lead, to gather out there. Somebody may have a product that just might be your missing piece, right? So what you need to take what you need to another level. I have already built the kids' version of the frame. She has the AI components of what I'm building, right? So us plugging together, maybe even plugging in with y'all. Everybody has a reason here of how we can connect on a different level, right? It's a VC, right? Everybody has a reason here of how we can bring this together and take this to a whole nother level where everybody in this room can benefit.
Everybody, period. This is the no human left behind. We're here to have no human left behind, right? And we do all of that through the love effect. And by what I mean by that is, I love you when I come and invest in you as an individual. I'm spending time with you. I'm not saying this is transactional. That will cost you $50,000. I come to you and say, hey, look, I just want to know what makes you smile. And then when I sit with you, and then you can tell me, and if you need a day or two, that's great, but then send it to me so I can reverse engineer what makes you smile and create you a synthetic company on that. You will never work a day in your life. Your system will be there, but it's something that you will be so passionate about because it's already what makes you smile. And that's what the love effect is. It's showing someone that you care and that you want to be there for them, and you are, and then the chemicals that are released in someone when you're doing that, it's contagious. They will then turn around without you asking or anything and start doing that same thing to others, and that's the love effect.
To whom as much is given, much is required.
Yeah.
And so all of us are given a lot of gifts. And it is required of us to take these gifts and spread that love. It's required of us to take these gifts and build on. It's exactly what you just did.
We get to. We don't even have to. That's the words. When you change these two words in your life from today forward, if you never do one other thing in your life, if you just change the way you use those two words in your life will forever change. Because no longer are you programmed that you have to. You get to. You get to get up. You get to be a father. You get to be a mother. You get to be a friend. You get to go to work. You get to start a company. You get to eat. You get to make a difference. None of these things are have to, but we've been programmed the wrong way. And now we're here to reprogram the programming. And it starts with your thoughts, because thoughts become things. And you get to do these things. It's a matter. Just literally say it to yourself. When you say "I get to," you feel so different. You're
Thoughts
like,
become things and words become action.
I get to help, right? Versus I have to. It's an ownership. It's a control when you say you have to. So it's a game changer when you that little thing came from just trying to rack my brain on how could I possibly be a better mother or a better wife or a better friend or anything. And then I found out the get to versus the have to.
Well, Kat, I think, do you want to ask the final questions? I think we probably have 10, 15 minutes of battery left on all our phones.
Yeah, absolutely. So
maybe 2 questions, and then I'll wrap up with audience
what do you think, all of you, really to drive on the mass adoption to getting people on the blockchain technology really would be what we really need right now? What are you all looking for?
Education.
Okay.
For me, education. I will just start there because everyone that comes to me, that's their thing. They're already dealing with fraud on such a high level in our world that's tangible that we can touch. So they're uninformed and don't feel safe.
This is where STEM comes in place.
Yes.
Right? So STEM dollars were used in so many other different ways than what it could have been used for. This is where STEM comes in place. STEM is supposed to teach us how to be educated on, math, science.
Robotics.
Technology uses all of this, right? You can't write code without knowing math, right? You've got to simply know this stuff, right? And it's a science in writing code. It's a science in development. It's reading and understanding, right? Everything that we're doing here right now at this moment in building is STEM.
I mean, for myself, education and product goes hand in hand, because I've been educating and going around all over the world, especially I'm from Singapore, right? So I've been in crypto since 2016. I've been advocating blockchain technologies in all around my region every year, educating, creating meetup groups, going around educating. Since 2016 till now, I'm still constantly educating people. However, one thing I realized that along the lines of education, you have to imply product as well that makes sense to people for them to try to use. And that itself further enhance the growth of people adopting into blockchain technologies. Just educating them, they go like, okay, this might be a hype and everything. But one thing I learned as well is you educate them, and on the spot you have products that you show them how it works, like what you did just now and what you did just now. It makes people believe it. So that's what I've been doing. That's what I've been trying to do. I even donate Bitcoins to people to come test out on transacting, even Ethereum, so on and everything. Give them hands-out. Give them like a hands-on experience and tell them why this changed. Like for example, Bitcoin Ordinal itself, I created an art class, right? And then I give them some Bitcoins for them to inscribe the art on-chain, and they go like, oh shit, this art is on-chain forever. No one can destroy it for NFTs. And even for DeFi, for dApps, and all the technologies that blockchain can be used. Because at the end of the day, Web3 is all about ownership to the people.
Yeah.
That's the definition of decentralization, ownership to the people. and we need to tell them that how this changed your life, this can change the future generations of how we perceive data. Yeah, so that's what I've been doing for many years.
So I'm gonna say something on that. It's probably gonna be more of a devil's advocate, and most people might not agree with it. But
I love
to
devil
me,
advocate.
is,
Yeah, I love the body language when you're already pre-apologizing.
Right.
Yeah.
So seamlessness to me is the thing.
Yes.
So just like nowadays, Visa, MasterCard, if you ask majority of people, they do not know how it works. They know they have a card, it has their money, and they need to scan it.
Yeah, I agree.
And that's the thing. We love crypto. We're all crypto natives. We love it. We love the new things. We care about what people's projects are. But the majority of people that are not in crypto are probably not ever going to care.
Yeah.
That's where I think is that we need to make this as seamless as possible, kind of like Visa and MasterCard, where then the masses can then use it, utilize it, and have these real world use cases. Then it will grow, and we, the people that have started it from the beginning, will always be obsessed with it. We'll always like it. We'll always progress it. But the majority of people are not going to. They're just going to use it.
But when I say education, I think for me personally, right, I'm saying more of education of application, right? So we don't need them to understand the back end of it, but we need them to understand how do I apply this? Because when I talk to people and I say, oh my gosh, I can give you this prompt and we can make anything that you can think of, it's overwhelming. But when I sit down with them and I pull up Claude and we code out a whole program together just through their voice, and they see what comes up and they see the interactive capabilities that we sat there and got on Data Button and went and created a whole software application that's ready to deploy. When we say publish, it interacts with them. That's a game changer.
Yeah.
That's the application of the education.
I feel like the thing that we need for wide-scale real crypto adoption is an affordable and secure hard wallet, like under $10 or something, easily stored with people, but in their watch, but in their phone or something.
Yeah, like a watch, something that they don't lose. Because I mean, coming from someone who has a brain injury, I freaking lose stuff, right? And I try to put reminders and stuff around, but maybe something that's a wearable.
So heads up, Tony Stark is already working on that.
I mean, back to the seamless thing, I agree. Like when I do education stuff, the product that I share, it's all about, the first thing is people. I don't really talk about tech on certain events that I do. I don't talk about how smart contract works. I don't talk about Winner's Hash. I don't talk about present time fault. All this I don't talk unless it's a dev focused event, right? But like a normal event that I did I call it like what you all call them, like the normies. I did it in a very picturesque concept, like treat them like a 3-year-old, and I even have applications that I work with projects that do simple stuff. It might be centralized at times, right? But the idea is to understand them that even though at this point it's centralized, but the narrative is for them to understand that end of the day you can still put it out into your own custodial asset, for example, right? Like for example, I even tell people the best way for you to start crypto is go to Binance.
Yeah, because they give you a whole platform and they give you money.
So because in Binance, yes, it's centralized sometimes.
Say normies again. Like, I love that.
I was about to say, there's no
In the
better
same,
feeling when you're finally like not a normie anymore.
Yeah.
For example, I told people to go to Binance because Binance everything is stake, rewards, earning, raffles, everything. And slowly, when they want to understand more, then I always tell them, if you feel that you want to have ownership yourself, then come to DeFi. Then I teach them what DeFi is about. So it's a step-by-step process. So that's what I've been educating people on, because centralized exchange is the best way to teach people seamlessness. This decentralization or non-custodial is the best to understand them, the empowerment of you owning your own asset. That's why I do.
We have an audience question.
I wanted to add, and sorry for joining late, apologies, but on the topic of adoption, just a thought to share. If I go and buy something and then the owner or the runners of the stores know all my financial history, then that does not work. So privacy is key for mass adoption. At the same time, what is actually required is privacy with auditability. You have to be able to prove that you did nothing wrong, that you have not gained your wealth with illicit means, done something like that. And you can do that. We have zero knowledge proofs coming up to solve this problem, to show I have not interacted with any bad addresses, for example, but at the same time, I don't want you to know which other transactions I have done. Privacy with auditability is a must requirement before this can be something people go and just pay with crypto for random.
I mean, this
give your background too, and just once he gets finished, give your background so they can see kind of what you do and who you are.
I mean, ZK knowledge proof protocol means to me is useful for government entities, for businesses, for this and that. I mean, for user itself, yes, it's good to be private, to have that privacy concept. But if you talk about blockchain itself, if you've at least figure out a single address, you can still trace it on chain. Anyway,
Right, but to have traceability is one thing, but if you can prove that you belong, that you have paid, that you have done some computation that is needed without giving away any further information, this too can be made seamlessly.
All right, we should have the choice to be able to not let everybody into our home.
Exactly, exactly. To my background, I'm a mathematician, and I'm also a world champion in this world, in the trustless computing world. I won the largest ever competition held in this space some time ago. My name is Imi, and I am an expert in trustless computing, there's cryptographic computing, and in machine learning. These are my two fields together.
Interesting, yeah.
I was going to counter, but then you explained who you are. So.
Yeah.
But I was going to say, on the flip side, I think it comes down
He pulled rank when he said he won something.
Wait a minute, let's give them a little conceptualization on who they're dealing with
I'm like,
before.
okay, I'm stupid.
There it is. And then they'll show in the recorder. You'll see the look in your face.
I'm fully lost. I'm a fun guy.
I was just going to add, just add to that, just a different angle, which is we know what WhatsApp, Instagram, Facebook are using with our data. People are still using it. So I think it fundamentally comes down to killer app and convenience. And I think the moment we stop talking about this is blockchain behind it, that's when actually we know we've hit adoption, because people are just using it without caring. Like no one wants to play a crypto game. Everyone wants to play a game. Okay, and but there's blockchain behind it. No one cares.
No one wants to buy crypto art. They want to buy art.
Yeah, it's the same concept for big data, right? Back then, remember, before crypto, big data was all the hype. And people go to conferences, talk about big data, all the tech and everything. But at the end of the day, people like us, we just go to Google, type something, search done. We don't care what's happening behind. Same for IoT. IoT was the hype back then. All the connection, blah blah blah. But now people just, all I know is I can use my phone to switch on my iPhone and connect to my fridge.
However, I would like to work with you. I just want to make that point.
I would love to.
Exactly, we all are. Okay, that's what I came here for.
In development, I've actually ran across the exact problem that you're talking about. So one of the biggest things that I definitely was trying to cover in building a social media platform is privacy, right? I hate the fact that our privacy is shared the way it is on all social media platforms, right? I turn off everything. I'm dead serious. No tracing, no phone calls, no. You're not listening to my audio. Facebook has to keep pushing me to turn stuff off.
That's suspicious in and of itself.
Right.
If I was an NSA dude, I'd be focusing on the guy who has everything turned off.
I turn it off because of the simple fact that I don't want people tracing my conversations, right? I don't want you listening to my stuff. That's my privacy. If I wanted you in, I invite you in. Like you said, if I want you in my home, you get a key to come in. But if you don't get a key to come in, it's no purpose of you being there. And so what I discovered was, as I was building, I was on Firebase at first, right? And Google was just, I'm building and these files, and as I'm coding, and I'm like, hey, y'all test this chat room out for me. And everybody testing out the chat room, I'm watching and I'm reading everybody's chat room pop up on Firebase. I'm like, bro, why can I see your stuff? It should be where I can't see your stuff, but I see your IP, right? I see your IP address.
Yep.
I shouldn't see what you write. It should not be for me to be able to decode what you're saying. So I said, okay, give myself 2 years for Firebase, finish building what I'm building on Firebase. I'm gonna switch it over to my own platform. Well, within a couple of weeks, I had one of my teammates come over from Germany. From the Philippines. I was like, hey, look, I ran across this cloud right here, and if we use this and run it on on the server that you just paid for. But we can build our own.
Yep.
And so we decided to, as a collective group, you know, everybody agreeing with, oh, what you want to do? Let's do it. You know, we built our own, so we no longer are relying on Firebase, right?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So now when a chat comes up, I'm not seeing your back-end communication. All I'm seeing is your IP address. So FBI say, look, big brother, let me get that conversation. I'm gonna give you the conversation, but what you're gonna get is that IP address because I don't got no data, right? There is no back-end key for me. There is no back-end key in created, period. With privacy, you don't create a back-end key. But when you don't want a person to have privacy, you create a back-end key.
I mean, it's an interesting topic because, you know, like if you ChatGPT, Grok, and all this, right? Even DeepSeek, all the chats, the history, the data they put, they have it. So I stopped using most of it. I started using Venice.ai. So Venice.ai is
How do you spell it?
Like Venice, like you know.
Oh, Venice,
yeah,
like this.
Venice, the Italy Venice thing.
Okay.
.ai. So apparently, whatever you do, the data, the history, the chat that you do, is all stored in your own personal computer. It's not stored by them. So ever since then, because somehow there are people that complain that when you use Grok to do all this search data and everything, somehow it gets leaked out to someone else that want to do some searches as well. So I started using this AI to kind of use AI to empower my work, but at the same time all the data is stored in my own hard drive, which is very interesting. I don't know how true is that. I've not really checked the code base, but I trust them for now.
It's true.
Yeah.
Some of my main guys in Bangladesh, like, shit, by the way, Shepard, if you watching this, I said your name.
You doxed him.
We gave credit where credit was due. That's all that matters.
Tell us a funny story about Shep. Yeah, so tell us the one funny story about him now.
All right.
Or tell us one embarrassing story.
Oh, no.
Yeah, do that because everybody will like it.
Look, he'd be bad.
It'll be embarrassing in a good way. Don't do something that's...
We're gonna make something up now. You know?
One night we up coding, everybody up coding, we talking, and so his English is not the best, right? He's working on it. That's my guy. But he's getting the hang of it. And I said, hey, we about to turn on, let's decode it. He said, let's decode. What you say? What you say? And he kept repeating it like 50 times. I'm like, bro, if I say it one more time. And maybe it's because I speak fast, but we listen to music all night. Snoop Dogg is like everybody's favorite, man. I mean,
cool, man.
So
we're gonna change out the moderator. You can stay, obviously, but we'll change out the moderator again. Warren, the other newest crypto.
I can go. I have to go. So,
Okay, that's fine. Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah.
I can share one more thought on privacy.
Yeah, just one sec. Let me introduce the new monitor, and we'll.
Guys, nice. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, everyone. I think when we cut this up, we'll have.
You're the first person I see from that world.
Oh yeah.
First person I know I saw like 6 years ago.
Really? Be off the panel, but we should catch up.
Yeah.
Close the party down. All right, you might as well.
I think so. Should I do my thing?
Yeah.
Well, okay. Well, privacy is a right. It's a human right. We all recognize that. We want to have private memories, information, and knowledge. That means that if you voluntarily publish this information, it has value. Going from private to public, this data has value, and so really the key is that this publishing should be consensual and fairly exchanged for the value. So if a user is giving data away, they should be compensated for it. If you think about advertisement, which is where all this data is used for, the big data collection, it is always used for targeting advertisement. If you think advertisement itself must exist, right? Without advertisement, you have zero innovation. Nobody would have any incentive to ever create anything if you can't tell people what you made. So advertising must exist. Now, would you rather, everyone could ask themselves and have perhaps a little bit different answer, would you rather see a random ad or one that is curated for you, for yours, right? What is your interest? So if you want something that only is about your interests, so you see what is new in the world that you're interested in, those ads, then you do have to share your data for the advertisement. doesn't work anymore. But while sharing, you should do the sharing consensually, knowingly, and have the option to not do it at the same time, and then benefit from the value if you do it.
That's interesting. So let's, Warren, the newest Crypto Minds Vegas organizer and the new moderator for this panel. Why don't you pick a topic, Warren, and introduce yourself first, and then how you got here today, and then we'll pick a topic, and we'll do maybe just 5 minutes perhaps.
So yeah, I have a project in Web3. We do token research, risk management, agents. Got an initial grant from the Solana Foundation for that. And there, out of Miami, he
Captain
got
Bitcoin.
He got me affiliated with folks here because I switched my time between here and Miami, and here I am. So, topic.
I think we're all AI'd out.
We're all AI'd out? Okay.
It's a beautiful day. Say something inspiring.
How about in real life experiences? Like, let's give a shout out to Crypto Mondays for educating and bringing people together.
On a Friday.
Yeah, Friday.
Wow.
Any day. First of all, Crypto Magazine is in over 25 countries, and one way that we're helping the industry is by showcasing the good innovation. I literally am like on the ground floor, making sure that these developers and people are, real people and not scammers and stuff like that. But we're over in over 25 countries, and I'm Forbes and Entrepreneur, which gives me insight that investors and mainstream are very interested in this space. So, and I also want to. Yeah, can we get one, please?
Yes.
Can you say something about that experience part? So for me, NFT means like never forget the T. And the T is what we're talking about, we're discussing. My best friend was 83 years
Drop the
old.
T.
Yeah, the T. And my best friend was 83, and she was a rock star, a legend in this life. And they say legends never die. And so the experiences that I had with this incredible woman, purple hair, she did not care, touched the lives of people. And that's what I'm gonna do, remembering those moments, these memories. And we can move so fast in this space, but guys, we are human. We need to keep the humanity in that. Raise the vibration, raise the frequency, realize that the love I see in you is the love I see in you. And when we start to put that love energy out there, like a honeymoon experience or whatever that is, we are going to move mountains together, and it's all of us together. It's not one person, one planet. We are all one in an ecosystem and really trying to grasp technology.
The whole learning how to be human. I mean, really, what does it mean to be a human if you're not a worker? If you don't have to be a machine anymore because you're still being a contributing part of society because we create a synthetic company for you that runs completely efficiently and effective. Now what? So just coming in and educating.
Speaking of human, that's an interesting topic where we'd rather keep speaking. Would we rather keep speaking with humans or AI agents? I actually got into an argument with someone yesterday around that. And she was creating.
Keep going because I'm loving this topic. I have water.
Yeah. I'll get it in a second here, but
I gotta grab water. You can sit down.
I would love to talk with other machine intelligence if they could be as interesting and intelligent and creative, but touching is different. Touching
Both, guys. It's both. Because I'm at home all the time. I got hurt 6 years ago. I was losing my bed. It's been a long journey. And it was nice to be able to like communicate with AI and get ideas out and stuff, but then it's also amazing like meet up with everybody and be like, look, this is what we've done, and let's use it together, and let's, build something together with, and just, piece it all together, so it's both. There's room for both.
Yeah, so I agree with that. And basically the argument I had with this person yesterday, she was creating AI agent strippers, and I was like, what's wrong with real strippers? And she was just like, I'm done, and she got into a whole larger thing of like, I'm done with humanity, I don't even want to date like humans anymore, I want to date my AI agent, and I was like, don't give up on you, don't give up on me.
What's your stripper name?
What is my?
Isn't there a fifth grade way to figure out your stripper name?
It's called Captain Bitcoin.
I deserve that.
May I add one thought relevant to this, looking into the future? Even the term that we use nowadays, AI, the term artificial, is actually an insult. Eventually, it will be perceived as such. As in, there is an intelligence. We have intelligence. Machines have intelligence. Different entities have different levels of intelligence. But to say ours is more natural or real versus theirs is arrogant stance, and it connects to what we're talking about here. Do we want to be on par, even in relationships with machines that now are laughing at jokes and making good jokes, etc.? Or is it always going to be the way some humans do with humans, divide humans? Are we also going to divide their intelligence versus ours? Exactly.
So let's do a quick promo of for CryptoMondays Vegas for future use. So why don't you guys just talk about Vegas and crypto and our meetup?
Oh, can I start?
Yeah.
Okay, I want to give a shout out first of all to Energizer AI, and they are a travel company. Well, they're the Web3 side. There's a travel company showing real use cases, like as far as like this tech with the real world. I just partnered with them before I came out here to lovely Las Vegas for the Bitcoin conference and here at Crypto Mondays. Anyways, they've had a travel company for a while. It's as seamless as connecting your wallet, becoming a lifetime member, and then all of a sudden you get, as a company owner, you get to give away complimentary vacations. So I was able to do that, and if we're gonna post this like before FinTech Fridays, everybody that shows up tonight at FinTech Fridays, if you make sure I have your email, then I'm gonna send you a complimentary 8-day vacation.
Whoa, there we go.
All right, Warren, let's talk about Crypto Mondays. You gotta speak up though.
All right, everyone. So we had an amazing turnout. I think it was one of the best turnouts that I think we said numbers-wise. But just seeing everybody come together and congregate and have these discussions, and actually seeing more women in the area too. And funny you say about the strippers. I'm creating home mentality, guys. And you know what that is? Heaven on earth. And if we have these discussions and we start talking about why we don't have these moments where it's like, I hate humans, I hate that, because people are feeling it. And we want to be like, no, we're all in this together. Let's educate. Let's remember what it's all about. The touch, the connectivity, the funny stories, just conversating. We're not, we're not machines. Exactly. And it's having that. And thank you so much, Praveen, for asking me to come out here, host these events, because, for a long time, people see me around, but they don't hear my message or my stories or sharing these. So thank you for this stripper story too. I love strippers, by the way. I love everyone. That's what it's about,
And that's why we go to Crypto Mondays. Not necessarily the strippers, but
we all know the
like
truth.
Mentalities and heaven on earth.
Yes, exactly.
we're not much different from one another, and that's the point. So as we were building, we're all a piece of the puzzle. And I go out and I found puzzle pieces essentially all the time. And I'm like, I want to go out there, and then I want to be able to learn from the brightest minds, my mentors, and then as a mom, have a mom tour where it's like, here, this is what I've gotten, this knowledge, this amazing developers building that. If we bring people together, we can get there so much faster.
It's almost like we're growing and showing what families really love.
Yes.
Well, as it's the whole thing of creation, right? We're creators, and that's the difference. Like as a human, you know, when you don't have to be a machine and operate with all these pressures of performance and getting money and feeding your family, you know, those things are so much pressure. But when we can take that pressure off of us and now utilize systems that are, for the data shows they're 10 times better than what we can do. It's not even what we're supposed to be doing. Like, we're creators, you know, let machines do what machines do. Then we get to take the time to create, right? What does it really mean to be a human?
I think JC actually has the best saying that she didn't bring up now for this, is no human left behind, which she
Earlier,
says.
yeah.
And that really speaks to it. And by the way, we know that humans in financial stress are functionally have an entire standard deviation of less IQ.
Yes. It shrinks your brain.
Yeah, so imagine everyone could jump up by one standard deviation. What else can we, because we can, in theory, have a world with non-human threats only, which are plenty and challenging. And we should all address those together to keep living and thriving. Yet, so many humans attack each other, and a human is a very strong foe to have. And actually, one can devise a social system where this need not happen, where we could actually unite against.
Great. So why don't you take us home, Kat and Warren. We'll wrap up the panels for the day.
Where's your home at? What club are you going to tonight? No, just joking.
We're going to FinTech Friday.
Yes.
See you there.
And you know, that's a great point, because I met Chris and I met Praveen at the same time. That's like 3 or 4 years ago, I believe. And we're going to another location because we're continuously supporting one another. And we all have like education or this or add that. So if you feel different than other people or whatever, you might possibly belong with us.
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
Point, you
If
know,
your
we're
energy is so up, right, we are definitely taking applications.
Yep. Please, we're adding value, we're adding to life, and hopefully, you know, build a more harmonious, thriving community.
Great. All right.
You'll never want to leave.
Yep. Thank you.
All right. Excellent.
I love you guys.
I didn't know it was a panel, by the way. I thought it was just a circle.
It's circle of life.
We met.
Yeah, we met at the DNA house the other day.
Okay.
Crypto Mondays, I've seen Crypto Mondays.
What's my name?
I've been to one? Maybe.
Could you airdrop me?
I love what you do. Okay, so I'm the catalyst, and I'm like, oh, you just
I love that, girl. When you got me, okay? You got me on that one. That was like, oh, I love that.
Oh, this one?
You know, we bring people together, and like even in the chemical form, it's like you make things go faster, but you stay true
And
to
if
your
you
core element.
give me your tag,
And mine
I'll
is
tag you
always
in all
going
the
to
social
be
media.
Mine is
Okay,
always
yeah,
going to be
DP.
So
I wanna
everything
get a
in my
picture
life
too.
had to actually get me to this, and
We're
to
debating whether we're
explain
gonna
it
stay
to
here
people,
another
you are
night.
not
Can
going
you
to
find-
stop
can you
on me.
be on
You're not
one with
going
us
to
tonight?
take all this. I'm
Yes,
actually taking
definitely.
it in,
Yeah.
so then I can actually help you grow, and we can all help
I do
learn
too.
and all of that.
And he
You know,
pushes
it's like
me out there.
duality of life.
You know what you can do is like just
I'm
do
not-
a spaces without the video camera, like on Twitter.
It's never how many
Like, a lot
times
of
you
those,
fall, right?
you
It's
can just come
always
on with your
about
voice
the
if you want to
comeback.
do that,
Yeah,
yeah.
picking up, right?
You get a lot of
It's funny because I'm still married, but I was like, You know, I was a king in the community sometimes, and I said, like, I need my king back. You need to come back, and we can be a king back, come back, you know.
Or have a different one for a different night. That's role play, baby.
Right, I love that. Checkmate, I got another one.
Exactly. Role play. What are we performing now? What hat am I placing on?
You know, there's some things like I don't like humans anymore, and everybody just, you know, did this and that, and they're so mean to me. And I'm like,
are you
hey,
staying?
but I love you. Like, I'm waiting for the damn Starship to get built. We don't need to be here if they're really not. We go off, babe. We go meet somebody and do this.
Oh well, we have the whole we have the, even all day tomorrow too. It's the Tokenize conference. Yeah, it's on the meetup. Yeah, we had the opening party yesterday.
Are you going?
So I have the senior project.